Praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Chakadash. I want to read from Habakkuk. I think it's verse 1. Oops, what's going on? I want to do something quickly on 2nd Esdras 14 about the weak nature. It's easy in these times of COVID when maybe if you put on furlough, if you're unemployed, to slacken off, because there's a lack of energy and a lack of mirth. That's also in the scriptures. And the mill, they say that it calls the mill to seek, or the grinding of the mill to cease. Meaning that industry will stop, but then also activity will stop, because in my view, the mill was the central hub of industry and the central hub of activity. Farmers will go there with the wheat to grind it into flour. The bakers were going there to buy flour and exchanging it for bread, and there was the milkmaids will maybe coming with their cows to move the mill, or the oxen to move the mill. So there's a lot of activity around the windmill. It was like the center of industry, and the grinding of the mill is going to cease. So industry is going to cease, economics is going to cease, but also, some of the extra frivolity will cease. There'll be a lack of mirth, that's also in the scriptures. So going in from there. So sometimes it's kind of easy to slip into being lazy or not having that energy or that fire, when we're meant to burn hot for Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. So let's see what they say. Let's start with verse 9. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and such as be like thee until the times be ended. For the world has lost its youth, and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part. So this is just the work. This is generally just like what they're saying here in Ezra. Is just like a man or a woman, in their youth, they're strong, they have energy, they have vibrance. So the world, when it was first created, had that, and things bloomed very easily. But then after that, as the world also ages, just as man ages, and it has lost its youth. For the world is divided 12, and there remains which is after the 10th part. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, and put off now the weak nature. So, stop being in the flesh, stop being carnal, get your house in order, get everything shipshape. Because we've gone through, let's say, he said the 12 parts, so 12 ages of the world, and we're now in the 10th and a half age. This was in Ezra, this was back then, so maybe we've even gone for another age, or we might be in the final age of this world, and we could talk about the end of the world, because it's again in Ezra where they talk about Esau's the end of the world. So this world is now in its old age, it's decrepit, it's dead. So now that we know that, and we should be getting ready for a new world, we should be putting our houses in order, casting away the weak nature, and letting go of carnality, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. To get ready to be out, basically. Forget about your mortgage, get ready to be out. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. So let's have a quick look at Esau at the end of the world. I should know this, but I can't remember it. Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. Let's see. Then I answered, verse 7. Then I answered and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the time? So, maybe this is slightly out of order, but the angel has explained to Ezra so far that the world is, we've just seen that the world has different ages and different stages, and it's getting old, and it's in its, at that time it was in its 10th and a half age out of 12. So it's right at the end. And we can imagine we're much further on than that now. But then Ezra has also asked, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, and when shall the end of the first and the beginning of that followeth? So how do we know that when this end of this world will end? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, from Jacob and Esau. When Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. That if you want to upset someone, if you catch someone by the heel, boy, you can tip them on their head. So he's saying here that Esau caught the heel. Jacob caught the heel of Esau. So that means that that was a sign, a sign in physicality what will actually happen, worldwide. Jacob had Esau's heel. So Jacob will be the thing that turns the world upside down, and the end of Esau will be the beginning of Jacob. That is to show that if Jacob had Esau's heel, Jacob will be the successor to Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it followeth. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other questions Ezra's asked thou not, and I've done a little bit of talk on that already, so I'm not going to really go into that. Hand of man. But it's just about the strength, where the strength comes from. Well, I'm going to shut off there. I think that is all I wanted to cover. There was another thing in Habakkuk, actually. Let me just go straight quick to Habakkuk, see if I can get that real quick. Because I just wanted to, for some reason, my Habakkuk wasn't loading when I was coming into it. Okay. Talking about when Esau came in. Let's see, I think it's Habakkuk 1 and 2. Okay, so this is for the prophets. I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I will answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Because his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also because he is transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. This is Esau straight. Shall not all these take a parable against him, a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe unto him that increases that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And there's so much there, but this is just basically talking about Esau. How he gets drunk, he's proud, he keeps on going into other nations, and he's hell is never full, right? So this concept of hell, but hell is never full. It's there's always got space, room for one more in hell, as they say. So he's never satisfied with all the riches and stuff he's got. And he gathers them he steals from all the nations, and enslaves all the people. So this is a situation where we're at. We've covered Esau, we've covered the fall of Esau. We've covered like how we're supposed to be in these times. We should be putting how house in order, we should be seeing where we are in terms of the ages. Well, with that, I'm going to shut off and say shalom.